When you think of the 60s, bright colors, long hair, outdoor festivals, and, above all, an explosion of music that broke all the rules come to mind. This was the decade in which rock stopped being just entertainment and became a mind-blowing journey, full of distortion, experimentation, and lyrics that seemed to come out of a dream. The reason? The psychedelic movement, fueled by LSD, the hippie counterculture, and a generation that wanted to escape reality. Before you start this video, remember to subscribe and like it. Today, we are going to go through the 10 songs that defined this era, not only for their revolutionary sound, but for how they captured the spirit of an era that challenged everything established. From guitars that sounded like spaceships to lyrics inspired by science fiction books and Eastern philosophy, these pieces are not only classics, they are true monuments of human creativity. The fascinating thing about these songs is that they didn't come out of nowhere. They were the result of a perfect storm. Technological advances in recording studios, such as multi-track tapes, the flowering of Eastern philosophy among young people, and a generation willing to break with the conservatism of the 50s. Every distorted chord, every cryptic lyric was an act of rebellion against a system they saw as obsolete. These songs not only defined a decade, but became gateways to alternative universes. Each of them, in their own controlled madness, captured a different aspect of psychedelia. From the electric fury of Hendrix to the fractured soundscapes of Pink Floyd. Listening to them today, we not only relive the 60s, but understand why that spirit of experimentation continues to inspire artists looking to break the boundaries of sound. Now, let's delve into these 10 masterpieces that made history. 1. Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix, 1967. We start with the absolute anthem of psychedelic rock. When Jimi Hendrix turned on his guitar on stage at the Monterey Pop Festival and launched those first distorted chords, the world knew that music would never be the same. Purple Haze is pure cosmic energy. The riff is hypnotic. The lyrics, "Excuse me while I kiss the sky," seem written on another planet. And that's solo. God. Hendrix didn't just play the guitar. He made it scream, cry, and float in space. Rumor has it that he composed it after an LSD trip. And if you listen to the song with your eyes closed, you can almost feel the colors. 2. Tomorrow Never Knows. The Beatles, 1966. If anyone doubts that the Beatles were geniuses, let them listen to this song. Closing their Revolver album, Tomorrow Never Knows is one of the most mind-blowing things they recorded. John Lennon inspired the lyrics from the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and George Martin, the producer, used studio techniques no one had ever tried before. Tape loops spun backwards, filtered vocals as if from beyond the grave, and a drum beat that seems to beat in another dimension. This song wasn't just music, it was a spiritual experience. 3. White Rabbit, Jefferson Airplane, 1967. Grace Kelly, with her powerful and enigmatic voice, took us straight to Wonderland. But not Disney's, but Lewis Carroll's, full of magic mushrooms and unanswered questions. White Rabbit is a masterpiece of dramatic construction. It starts soft with that haunting bass and gradually turns into a tsunami of sound. The lyrics, full of references to Alice in Wonderland, were a metaphor for the psychedelic trip. "Feed your head," it says at the end, and it was just what thousands of young people were doing in 1967. If you are liking the video, remember to subscribe and leave your like. 4. Interstellar Overdrive. Pink Floyd, 1967. Before Pink Floyd made The Dark Side of the Moon, they were an underground band playing in smoky, strobe-lit clubs. Interstellar Overdrive is the best example of their psychedelic phase. Almost 10 minutes of cosmic improvisation, with guitars that sound like colliding asteroids and a bass that pulls you in like a black hole. Syd Barrett, the frontman at the time, was an unstable genius who turned every concert into a ritual of chaos and beauty. This song has no structure, no chorus, and that's why it's perfect. 5. 8 Miles High. The Byrds, 1966. This is where folk rock met jazz and LSD. 8 Miles High was so revolutionary that it was even banned from several radio stations because they thought it talked about drugs. The band members denied it, but we all knew the truth. The most incredible thing is Roger McGuinn's guitar solo, inspired by John Coltrane. Those discordant sounds and impossible scales make you feel as if you were flying. 8 Miles High, of course. 6. Sunshine of Your Love. Cream, 1967. Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker created one of the most addictive riffs in history with this jam. Sunshine of Your Love mixes blues with pure psychedelia. The distortion is thick as honey, the rhythm is hypnotic, and when Clapton drops that solo, it's as if the guitar is talking. They say they wrote it after seeing a Hendrix concert, and it shows. It has that same wild and free attitude. 7. Somebody to Love. Jefferson Airplane, 1967. Another one by Jefferson Airplane because they simply dominated the scene. Somebody to Love is pure energy. Grace Kelly sings like an angry goddess. The band sounds like a locomotive, and the lyrics are an existential scream. Don't you want somebody to love? When woe. It was the soundtrack of a generation searching for love and freedom amidst the chaos of the Vietnam War. 8. Strawberry Fields Forever. The Beatles, 1967. John Lennon wrote this song about his childhood, but it ended up being a sonic journey unlike any other. Recorded in multiple takes and speeds, Strawberry Fields Forever sounds like a dream. The mellotrons float, the vocals double as echoes, and the structure is so free that it seems to vanish into thin air. When Lennon sings, "Nothing is real," it's easy to believe him. 9. The End. The Doors, 1967. Jim Morrison was a dark poet, and The End is his masterpiece. 11 minutes of gothic psychedelia, with verses about snakes, death, and the Oedipus complex. The band creates an oppressive atmosphere, with that ghostly organ and Robbie Krieger's guitar sounding like knives. When Morrison screams, "This is the end," it's impossible not to shiver. Gishonta. See Emily Play. Pink Floyd, 1967. Before they went full cosmic, Pink Floyd made this psychedelic pop gem. Syd Barrett wrote it about a girl he met in a forest, or was it an acid trip? And it sounds like a carnival carousel on another planet. It's sweet, weird, and completely addictive. Why do these songs still matter? Because they weren't just hits. They were bold experiments that expanded what music could be. The 60s was the decade when artists stopped following the rules and started making their own, using recording studios as laboratories and drugs as creative fuel. Today, bands like Tame Impala or King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard still drink from that source. And when you listen to Purple Haze or Tomorrow Never Knows, they still sound as fresh and revolutionary as they did in 1967. Because true psychedelia is not just distortion and reverbs. It's the freedom to create without limits. What's your favorite? Do you think there's one missing? Leave it in the comments. As always, if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. See you in the next video.